Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Route X Lap Attack. This episode we're going to be using the BMW M4. I got two of these. We're going to try out this one here on the left. There are a few other BMWs that I want to check out in this series. Really looking forward to trying out the Z8 as well as a few other cars from the M series. But in the next episode, I'm thinking of testing another McLaren. I want to do the 650S. After driving the 12C in one of the previous episodes, I was actually really impressed with its performance. And then again, it is a McLaren. You're supposed to be impressed. It got 6th place at 427. Maybe the 650 will be a little faster. I honestly don't remember. What I do know about the M4 is that we'll more or less get a similar time to what the Camaro did in the previous episode. Sorry for sneezing. I've also been hearing a lot of complaints about the 8th Gran Turismo game, which for some reason is called Gran Turismo 7. There are a lot of people that are really upset with how you gain less money when you do a repetitive race for a certain amount of time, which I understand. There's a certain car that you want to get, like a Mazda 787 or some other rare race car like that. I'm hoping that Gran Turismo fixes that problem. And I'm hoping we can go a little faster once we get on the other side of the hill. But something tells me we're not going to be fast enough to get in the top 20. All in all, this is a very decent car. I do like the M4, but I think if I had to choose a favorite, I know I've had a lot of complaints about this in the past from a few other people, not online but in real life. Some people are upset with me because I would actually prefer the M2 over the M4. The one thing I am hoping for in Gran Turismo 7 is that they bring back the 507, a rare BMW convertible from the late 50s. It's a really cool looking car. I remember driving that in Gran Turismo 6. Wasn't the fastest car I had. Its top speed was either 165 or 185. I gotta go back to the game and check it out. I'm actually considering getting Gran Turismo 7. I wanted to get a PlayStation 5 just to play that game. But when I heard that the release of the game was delayed, it was supposed to come out in the summer of 2021, but instead it came out more recently because they wanted a PS4 version. A lot of people like myself want to get a PS5, but right now it's just kind of too expensive. I think I'll wait a year or two, then I'll get the PS5, because I really do not feel like spending $600 or more just to get a console. I remember when I got my PS4 back in 2016, that cost me around $300, and it was a pre-owned console too. The only reason that it was around $300 was actually $360, because of course I needed the controller, and I was also getting Mafia 3. I'll remember it like it was yesterday. I know Mafia 3 is not the best in the trilogy of Mafia games, but something about it, especially the racing mode, is pretty fun. I just wish it was a bit more like Mafia 2, where you can get more cars as opposed to just having the amount of cars that you have already in your collection. They're really cool cars, but there are a few others that you find on the street that I want to keep and upgrade, but unfortunately they won't let you do that. You go to a garage and try to upgrade it, and they're like, you need a car from your valet fleet. I think that's another reason why me and many others prefer some of the older Gran Turismo games because you have more variety in cars, as well as a few other tracks. In Gran Turismo 6 in particular, you had like well over 1,000 cars. There were a few that I wish they still had. You see in Gran Turismo 5, like the Jetta G4, another European sports car, this time from the 60s. But for some reason, they didn't put that in Gran Turismo 6. Alpine's another cool one. I'm glad they still have that. As well as the newer version. I didn't even know that was a thing. Something about French cars I'm not really interested in. It's kind of hard for me to explain, but whenever I see a French car, I always think that it's unreliable, especially the Citroens. Peugeot, I like their logo. Some of their cars, not so much. I think Renault owns Alpine. They have a few cool cars, but I'd just rather stick with Alpine in general. And of course Bugatti. It's owned by Volkswagen, but it's actually from France. And our BMW M4 got a time of 5 minutes and 8 seconds. It would have been interesting if it was 5:07, since I mentioned the BMW 507. That was a pretty good run, but like I said, I do not think we're in the top 20. We'll double check very soon. Nope. 20th place is still being held by the GTO Twin Turbo. Twin Turbo, my apologies. A 1991 Mitsubishi 503. We're just a few seconds too short. We'll definitely be faster with a McLaren 650. Thank you for joining me, and hopefully you will join me again when I test out the McLaren.